Hello everyone. In today's video, we will solve this radical equation. This equation is a radical equation because the terms have a square root or the radical sign on them. We have to find the value of the variable, and in this equation the variable is x. Both x terms are under the square root. So the first step here is to square both sides of the equation. Now when we square both sides of the equation, the square root and the square cancel each other out. So now we are left with just x squared minus 2 on the left side of the equation and x plus 4 on the right side of the equation. So now as you can see, there is no radical left in this equation. Now this is a quadratic equation because the highest power on the variable x is 2. So the first step is to move all terms to the left side of the equation. We start by subtracting x from both sides. So the x terms on the right side cancel each other out. So we are left with x squared minus x minus 2 equals 4. Now we have to move the 4 to the left side of the equation because we want to set it equal to 0 and then solve for x. So we subtract 4 from both sides. So the 4's on the right side cancel each other out. So we get x squared minus x minus 6 equals 0. So we can solve this equation. Now since the coefficient of the x squared term is 1, this is a simple trinomial. So we can solve this equation by factoring this simple trinomial and then we solve for x. So we have to find two numbers whose sum is -1, which is the coefficient of the x term. So here the coefficient of x term is the invisible one with a negative sign. And we have to find two numbers whose product is equal to -6, which is this number term in the simple trinomial. So now we have to think of pairs of numbers that add to -1 and multiply to -6. So the first pair that comes to my mind is -1 and 6. Now with -1 and 6, we cannot get a sum of -1. So this pair is out. So another pair that comes to my mind is -2 and 3. Now if we add -2 and 3, we get +1, not -1. So we can switch the negative sign, 2 and -3. Now we can check if we add 2 and -3, we get -1, and if we multiply 2 and -3, we get -6. So this means this pair of numbers work for us. So now we can write our factored form. So our factored form for the simple trinomial is x plus 2 in parentheses, and then another one, x minus 3 is equal to 0. And now we get two cases. So the first case is x plus 2 is equal to 0. And the second case is x minus 3 equals 0. So we have to solve for x. So from the first case, so we can subtract 2 from both sides to isolate the x. So the 2's on the left side cancel each other out. So we get x equals 0 minus 2, which is equal to -2. So that's our first solution. So for the other one, we add 3 to both sides to isolate x on the left side because -3 and positive 3 cancel each other out. So we are left with x equals 0 plus 3, which is equal to 3. So this is our second solution. Now we can check if these two solutions are valid solutions. So we do the check by subbing in these x values one by one in the given equation and checking if the left side becomes equal to the right side. So let's start with x equals -2. So the given equation is x squared minus 2 equals square root of x plus 4. So we sub in x as -2 in this equation. So we get -2 squared minus 2 equals square root of -2 plus 4. So now we can simplify it. So the square of -2 is positive 4 minus 2 is equal to square root of, so -2 plus 4 is equal to 2. So we get square root of 2 equals square root of 2. So that means -2 is a valid answer. So this is a valid root. Now we can do the check for x equals 3. So we sub in x as 3 on the left and the right side of the equation. So 3 squared minus 2 equals square root of 3 plus 4. So we get 9. So 3 squared is equal to 9. And then we the square root of 9 minus 2 equals square root of 7. So here also we get the left side is equal to the right side. So that means that x equals 3 is also a valid root. So in this case, there are two solutions. Solutions are -2 and 3. So both of them are valid solutions. So I hope you'll find this video useful. Please share it, like it, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much and have a nice day. Bye.